Welcome to Mystical Messages. I am Hilary Harley, your podcast host. I am a soul guide and astrologer. Mystical Messages is your podcast gateway to discover and learn about the realm beyond the veil, including all things intuitive, metaphysical, and the healing arts. To learn more about my work or book a session with me, please visit hilaryharley.com. If you would like to read my monthly forecast, you may find the full written transcript for all astrology episodes on my website. That way, if you hear something and want to re-listen to a forecast or check a date of a cosmic event, you may find it on the written monthly forecast on hilaryharley.com. Today, I am so delighted to have my very special guest, Sonya Masur, whom I call Sonny, here to share about the Zenathon. So thank you, Sonny, so much for joining me. Sonya Masur is a practitioner of many arts. She is a healer. She's a Reiki master. She is a chief organizer of big events like the Zenathon, and she is a pioneer thought leader and founder of the Zenathon. So welcome, Sonny.
Thank you, Hill. I love being here with you. Always love hearing all the other podcasts you have with everyone you interview. It's really enlightening and fascinating to be part of your journey. I'm thrilled to be here to share about Zenathon. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. As I was preparing for this conversation, it's much more of a conversation with you than it is an interview, for sure. As I have with some of my guests, because I've known you so long. And I recalled that you were my very first guest on Mystical Messages way back, I think 2.5, 3 years ago. So we've seen each other grow and blossom. And you certainly are taking off with the wings, big wings this year. So tell us about the Zenathon.
Thanks. I do remember that very first podcast as well. It feels like zillions of years ago, and yet yesterday, kind of at the same time. So it's beautiful to recall that. So Zenathon is something that's been coming literally for years. It's kind of a weaving of all things beautiful and peaceful and balanced and loving to bring forward to all of us. And by all of us, I mean each one of us individually, as well at the same time to the world, because we first need to start out with taking care of ourselves, balancing ourselves, centering ourselves. And while we do that, as you know, we each have an effect on our surroundings, our family, our neighbors, our community, and then it just continues to ripple out.
Yep, the big, big ripple effect.
Exactly. And so this has been in process probably for like 8 or more years, probably more.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't realize. I mean, I've known you for 5, and I did not realize that this was, something that you've been sitting with for a very long time.
Yeah. I mean, I think it started out in my head as more like a triathlon with 3 components being yoga, meditation, and walking. And it has since just naturally evolved due to so many connections of incredible practitioners and teachers and mentors, and just trying to open to how to bring this out to the world so that more people know about these incredible teachers
and tools that are going to be offered. So I must disclose that I will be speaking at the Zenathon. You're going to be having a panel, not a panel necessarily, but individual speakers. So I am one of those speakers. I'm speaking about astrology and the current forecast for the latter half of 2024 and what astrology is and what it can do for you. But it's not simply me. I mean, you've got a banquet I mean, a deep, deep bench of amazing practitioners, teachers, sages, wise people coming. Can you talk a little bit about the different components and the different kinds of speakers you'll be having?
Yeah, I love to. In fact, there are more than 30
Wow.
different presenters at this point in time. And yeah, I'm thrilled you are part of this all-star lineup, as I like to refer to it, because this is just a great opportunity for people to check in and check out all these different modalities and gather tools and techniques. So there'll be people sharing meditation hints. There'll be a drumming circle. There will be forest therapy guides. There's going to be quite a few different types of yoga and some really incredible presenters. I invite people to check out the website, zenathon.org. And actually, all these people have links that you can read about them. There'll be sound bowls, there'll be Tai Chi. We have lots of breath work happening. We have someone presenting living with grief. There's lots of different holistic health options and self-care. There's so many people who are incredible, all right in this area. We do have a few people from overseas coming as well, from Costa Rica, from
Wow.
Luxembourg, from Switzerland, all different presenters coming to be a part of this premier Zenathon.
I did not realize, I mean, the scope. I mean, I knew it was big. I did not realize like people were coming from international destinations. So before we forget, or before I get too far into this event, the Zenathon, it's like marathon, only it's Zen, Zenathon, is on Sunday, September 22nd in Sharon, Massachusetts, which is a suburb of Boston, just southwest. Southwest.
Yeah.
I can't
Yep.
go much more southeast.
No.
Getting my directions straight. Just southwest. It's near Foxborough Stadium, so Gillette Stadium now, and I still
Right.
call it. I actually still call it Sullivan Stadium on occasion, which is really dating me. But yeah, it's in on a beautiful campground near
Yeah,
a
we were
lake.
just there yesterday, kind of going through the day of schedule and walking it out and seeing where every presenter was going to have their space. It is on 70 acres,
Wow.
tucked, nestled in the woods on this absolutely gorgeous lake in Sharon. And it actually feels like you're really far away. The energy there is just mystical and magical and very perfect for the Zenathon and bringing this forward and allowing us to kind of weave some more peace and get off the treadmill and get off the marathon and just slow it down and allow the forest to hold us. And in fact, some of our presenters are coming from Costa Rica, will be doing forest therapy. And I met them out when I was in Costa Rica and just happened to say, is there any chance that you might be in America in September? And she said, yeah, where are you in America? And I said,
Where?
Boston. Where in
Where?
America
Where in
are you?
America?
Right. And I said, Boston, where are you coming? And she said, Boston.
Get out! Oh my
And
gosh!
yeah, it was one. And I was like, oh my, what time of the month are you coming? And she said, we're getting in around September 20th. Is that anywhere near the Zenathon? And
Oh
it
my
was
goodness!
one of those synchronistic universe signs that's like, boom, you
Wow.
are right on target. And she's like, I would love to come and I have some Boston forest therapy guides. Would that be okay to bring them? And so they're coming as well with books they have written. So it's very exciting. All of these interconnected
Oh.
galactic things that just keep happening at this really big level.
Okay, that makes my heart sing when I hear the connections, which we do not call coincidences. And I have to just remind our audience, you are the connector the conductor, connector extraordinaire. That is truly how I know of you, how I think of you, your greatest superpower. I mean, your greatest superpower is the love that you bring to everybody, but you are a connector like no one I have ever met. It's really extraordinary. So I just want to remind everybody that this Zenathon, if we were to condense it into like an elevator pitch, it's a 1 day immersive retreat. It's like a soul festival, is how I've been describing it to people. I'm in Western Massachusetts, so I'm out here talking to my people. Like, you got to come in for the day. It's amazing. So, what other facets, when you said you were thinking of it as sort of like a three-part, you've got the presenters, and then who else? What other segments?
We have a marketplace, which is going to have local artists and food vendors from the area so that we are supporting lots of different businesses that are going on. And you can meet different people who create beautiful treasures to buy, as well as meet some people who have services that they're going to be offering, where you might sign up for a reading or where you might sign up for a session after Zenathon. It's a great place to meet lots of different people to bring onto your team to help support you as you move through life. So Zenathon, yes, is a 1 day event. However, we really want to position this very different so that it's not one and done and over at the end of the day, that we're going to be creating an app, that we're going to have options to key into getting an email every day with an act of kindness, maybe you can do, or with a little meditation, so that when you come to Zenathon, it's kind of like just the beginning. It's stepping into this portal of peace, this activation to get us moving forward and to give us those tools continuing. So that Zenathon is an annual event. However, we have 364 other days that we need to actually weave this. It just doesn't happen, and creating habits don't happen in 1 day. We have to support that moving forward. And so we're going to have lots of different possibilities to help support people moving forward. But day of, we will have the actual presenters. We will have the marketplace, as well as we do have, you mentioned it, there's a beachfront at the
there's
lake.
A beautiful lake, right?
And there's two beachfronts. That one we will be having different offers at that front, but the other one will probably be a Zen silent beachfront where you can just go, sit, and breathe, and
I love that.
take the space in and kind of slow it down. I mean, most of us are trying to do 12,000 things at the same time. And the Zenathon is really kind of saying, yeah, life is a marathon, but could we possibly change it to a Zenathon? Could we shift out of that crazy, chaotic space and actually come into our own center, supporting us, moving through life with more love, more peace, more balance, and create that energy in the world?
That is beautifully, beautifully expressed. We are now in the age of Aquarius officially, and I don't need to tell you that the Zenathon is coming at a perfect time, because we're literally leaving the old landscape, and we're entering this amazing, we're on a threshold, and we're moving across into this heart-centered world that we're creating. And we're slowly recognizing that each of us affects the other. And I know the Zenathon is at the forefront of leading this mindset, if you will, that each of us, we're all connected. And, the thought of tree roots actually comes to mind. So it's wonderful that this event is going to be taking place in a forest because I've been reading lately about trees and how all the roots are connected underneath and the electrical impulses. And so when one tree feels something, each of the other trees and shrubs and plants and organic matter around it feels the same thing. And so the fact that man and woman are these sentient creatures, it's obvious that how you are affects how each person you touch, the lives. And so Zenathon is really leading the way in showing people that.
Yeah, I love the interconnectedness that you're kind of focusing and bringing awareness to. And we, in fact, are going to have an incredible presenter who is a mutual friend of ours, Gertrude Lola, also doing some tree hugging with people and sharing just exactly what you shared about, that it's not just humans that are connected and that have the ability to know and feel. But trees, as you're saying, have this whole mycelium network, somewhat similar to how we have Wi-Fi in the air and up in the sky. That whole network, the trees have a very similar connection to all other trees and send information, nutrition, nourishment, and caring through that. And we as humans often get stuck into just our human mind of only what we are and how things affect us. And the Zenathon is in that process sharing information to open eyes and to understand that interconnectedness to people, to animals, to all beings, waterways, air, planets, everything, and the earth. As we all know, things are changing drastically with our earth. And so this is kind of a reminder to pay attention, to love the earth and take care of the earth as she has been taking care of us.
Yes, that it is a truly collaborative effort. And each of us affects not just the other humans in our lives, and animals certainly are part of that as well. I know one of the speakers you're having is Leah Goldman, who's speaking about equine therapy. And she's fascinating. I've had her also on Mystical Messages because talking about how horses can communicate over miles. And, so this whole interconnectedness that we're learning about, many of us for the first time. So it's a teaching opportunity, a learning opportunity for many people to come and experience. They might be proficient in some areas. They may have experienced some of your visitors and guests that have, for example, experienced Reiki, but they've never experienced other modalities. So this is, Zenathon is offering a buffet, very, very large buffet of an array of modalities. Can you just talk about some of them?
Sure. And in fact, we do want beginners. Like if you've never done any of this work before, come. You don't have to know anything about any of the modalities. Just have a curiosity about peace, a need to want more ease in your life, to bring down the anxiety and the stress. If that feels at all like you're running all the time and always late and never have enough time and just can't get to a really relaxed space, this is a great opportunity. As you said, it is the peace buffet. I mean, you can come and try all these different incredible options, and we want beginners. Of course, if you've done yoga forever and you're coming because you want to see Jackie Bonwell, who's incredible, or Sarah Gardner, who's amazing, come. Of course, there's all these modifying that goes on. Or if you've never met Dareth Cast, Avila, she actually just got married. She's an incredible coach, Tachi teacher, habit changer. All of these people are picked who are in the Zenathon. I literally asked every single person to be a part of this because they are superstars in their own right. And I want everybody to know about them. All of the different offerings, we will even have people teaming up. Most people will be sharing by themselves for a time block. And the schedule will be very similar to camp, where you go for the day to camp and it's block one. And are you going to pick yoga, meditation, astrology, tai chi? And there will be multiple offerings so that you go for a 40-minute time block and check this out. And then we won't have a bell like at camp, but there will be something obvious that it's time to change. And we are in the forest, walking around, you're meeting new people, connecting with new ideas, being in the flow of creativity. And the amount of different offers that are there is, incredible. I'm so excited to have all of these different people there.
And so
everybody.
Yeah, and I mean, it's really incredible what you have assembled in terms of the number of people who are committed to sharing their expertise. So talk to me about the timing. Can you talk about the place and the time? When does it start? When does it end?
Sure. Yeah. So it's the all day event. It will be from 9 to 4 on Sunday, as you mentioned earlier, September 22nd, which happens to be the fall equinox. Not so coincidental, as I connected with my in-house astrologer, Hilary, to check on that date, and that completely lined up. So we are in full support planetary wise and bringing this forward. And so the day we'll start with the morning circle, kind of like you do at camp at the flagpole.
Really? Yeah. This is beautiful.
Yep. And we'll have some blessings. And we, in fact, have a Native American chief who will be joining us and sharing some blessings at that point. And we'll have a few presenters give some short little openings. And then we will break into the day, which will probably start around 10ish. And every 40 minutes or so, we'll have a new block, a time block, which gives people about 15 minutes to walk in between activities, so to speak, because the camp is quite large. It's 70 acres and it is beautiful. And we'll have trails marked out. So you'll either follow the red trail to get to this activity or the orange. You'll each get a card so that it's really clear. People will pick which activities they want to do right then and there. However, we will have the schedule online. So we have a lot of planners in this group who like to know ahead of time what they might want to do that day. And so they can do that. They can circle their card and bring that and have it. But we will also be giving them out at registration that day. We have the marketplace, which will be open the whole time. So as people may want to take a break and just take an easy Zen space and catch some beach time and meditation time on their own, they may spend time at the marketplace. We'll have lots of time to be at the marketplace so people can really check out, meet these amazing artists who create just unbelievable pieces of work that they may want to take home or just connect with. And then at the end of the day, we will have a closing circle. So don't leave. Make sure you stay through this closing circle where we will have a few singers singing and some blessings and some other surprises, which we're not going to share right now, so that you can stay through and really get the whole experience of this beautiful day.
So this is extraordinary what you're describing. I love that there is an opening and a closing, because I think that's really important to establish a mindset and to leave people with a parting sense and sensibility of what to carry forward into the world from this experience and immersive event. So it's not necessarily Zenathon a drop in and check it out type of event. it's come and experience from beginning to end.
Well, that would be in a perfect world. That would be what we would want everybody to do. However, if you have something going on in the morning that you need to do, and then you wanted to come at 12 o'clock, come at 12 o'clock. That's
Mm-hmm.
totally fine. You need to come at 9, but you need to leave by 2:30 because you have to go to. So we are open to whatever works for people because not everyone can block that time off. And we don't want you to not come because you have to miss X amount of time. So
Right.
you won't, you will get exactly what you're supposed to get for however long you have to be there.
Okay. I just want to be clear about that for people who, because we're all busy all the time and, we're being pulled in 20 different directions. So talk to me about the exact location, because this really is a magical spot. And the other piece I do want to talk about are some of the artists. I don't want to give away anything I shouldn't be talking about because I know one person in particular. Actually, I know two that I'm super stoked to see and hear and experience again. But before we get into those artists, the artistic component, talk about the space, because I know it took you a while, excuse me, to find this location and how that all came about.
Yeah, so the space actually, I'm glad you brought this up. The space is Everwood Day Camp in Sharon. It's actually a 125 Lakeview Street, but that's all on the website, so people can grab it off of the Zenathon website as well. And it did take over 10 months, to be honest, to find a space to have Zenathon. And that was because of the number of participants that we're expecting, which is about 600 people to be there.
Wow.
And so this space is a day camp that every single day they have 1,000 kids. So 600 was nothing to
Mm-hmm.
Dane and Jamie, the directors. They were like, bring it. We love this idea. In fact, and they are part of the planning. They're like, if you'd like us to be a part of the planning team, we really would like to join this. We love this mission. We feel our land honors it. And it's a
Wow.
natural thing for us to join in and help the flow of this many people move around. And so when we went there, I went with one friend who is also a presenter, Marcia. And while we were walking around, both of us were just continually awed with the amount of magic in the woods by these trees. They are giant, giant pine trees. Over the years have dropped, obviously, all their pine needles. And the forest floor is a little bouncy.
Wow.
As you walk through, you almost feel the magic of the earth holding you and the trees hugging you. And so we just fell in love with the space, with the directors, with the water. It kind of has all of the elements in a very beautiful setting, which just calls you in and you automatically feel zen. Like you do. It was crazy. We were just both like, what? Okay, it's here. And the directors have just been so helpful and right on board and responsive to everything. So we're feeling incredibly grateful. It's beautiful. There's a lot of shade, and yet at the same time, there's some beautiful sun-filled spaces. So we kind of
Mm-hmm.
have the balance, the yin and the yang of that supporting us, and just the peace of all the trees and the magic that comes from hugging trees, being supported by trees. We can breathe because we have trees, right? So it just opens up your whole lung system and allows you to kind of just let it go. Just open up and relax.
That's gorgeous. I mean, what you're describing to me sounds like it's a very safe container that you're very held by and in this space by nature.
It,
And I,
yep,
I can't.
exactly. I think we lucked out. One of the people on the inner circle of helping with Zenathon had said, gosh, you're having so much trouble. I know two camp directors. Shall I connect you? And it was just one of those, And camp has always been a favorite place growing up. And most of us have incredible memories of being at camp and just really having fun, being in nature, unplugging. Like, I don't think we didn't have electronics then, but it was really a respite from your everyday life to go to camp and just totally get immersed in nature.
Yeah. And I know a lot of camps now, you put your cell phone in a bucket when you walk in, the front entrance. I'm very excited to see this property because I haven't been there. I do know Sharon. So it's Sharon, Massachusetts. Again, my guest is the magnificent and uber talented in multifaceted ways. Sonya Masur, you can find her at Sonya Masur, SonyaMasur, Masur, sonyamasur.com. And we are talking about her pioneering visionary event called the Zenathon. And you can go to the zenathon.org website to find out about every last detail. Sunday, September 22nd in Sharon, Massachusetts. So a couple of the other pieces I wanted to talk about that are really near and dear to my heart. And I don't want to give away secrets. So
no, share, because it's such a great share. Please share.
So I went to near me in Western Massachusetts. I went to a campground. It's called Dance Beyond event that happens at the first part of June. And I went last year, and I came upon this tour de force, Hale Gafori. And she is the first person to translate Rumi from her native tongue, Farsi, into English. All the other English translations have been done by translators who had to learn Farsi and then translate it into English. And so her book on Rumi, her Rumi translations, is called Gold, and she is coming. So talk to us about not just Hale, but some of the other incredible artists that you have appearing without giving away surprises.
Yeah, no surprises on the artists, because actually on the Zenathon page is a whole page of presenters. So everybody is there, and you can click on them. We are thrilled to have her there and cannot wait. Check her out on her website, because once you hear her, I have to say, Hilary told me about her and I was, oh, okay, I'll check her out. And I literally listened and had tears rolling down my face. And I felt like I was instantly changed on a level that's hard to explain in words, but you feel it and your soul connects in such a beautiful way. And she's coming from New York. We're thrilled. Thank you for bringing her and connecting us with her. And lots of these presenters have books, as does Hala, and she has her gold book, and she'll be bringing that, sharing about it, signing it, and selling those as well. And so not most, but I would say at least 50% of presenters will have their books that people can, if they choose, to get afterwards. And yeah, so there's just so many.
So you can take home some of the artist's work. Yeah, so for any Rumi fans out there, this is an incredible opportunity. I mean, to me, it's worth the price of admission just to hear Hale. I mean, everything else is, cherries on top. But no, she's not to be missed.
Who is the other one who you were saying you have a few who you couldn't
the woman that sings, I'm spacing on her name, down at the Beehive.
Simply Whitney.
Simply Whitney. She's a force.
She's incredible. She's incredible. And we also have my college roommate, Lisa Korshin, who's coming from Luxembourg. She's
Wow.
going to be playing, yes, she's going to be playing piano in the woods. I met her my first day at college when I transferred to Boston University. I thought it was Carole King singing in our lobby. And I went in there and she was one of my roommates to be.
Wow.
And so she's going to be flying in from Luxembourg. And I will be posting some videos. And so definitely, even to all of our presenters have made videos and they're on our Instagram site, Zenathon. And also you can follow us to hear and learn more from the actual presenters on Instagram and Facebook, Zenathon. I think it's the Zenathon on Facebook and just plain Zenathon on Instagram. So you can actually kind of meet all of these presenters that are incredible.
Yeah, and they're really, you can dive deep as you want to go to learn more. Again, it's zenathon.org, Sunday, September 22nd in Sharon, Massachusetts. Anything else that we have not mentioned? Any particular magic that you want to, I mean, are there going to be like, is there a type of get a tarot reading type of thing? Or, I don't know what you have up your sleeve. I know a lot about it, but I don't know all the particulars.
Yeah, great question, Hill. There will be lots of presenters who are going to be doing one-on-one readings if you would like to do that. As each presenter has a 40-minute time block to present to everybody, there's still a lot of other time left in the day. So we will have either a presenter's tent where after their presentation, they will be seated behind a table and chairs and you can go talk with them. You can go set up appointments with them. You can set up, some of them are going to be having one-on-one readings. We'll be having angel card readings. We'll be having potentially astrology readings. There'll be joy readings. There's a card reader. Lots of people have offerings that you can find more about at the presenter's tent, as well as the marketplace, because we'll have readers over there as well to sign up, and just, you can pick a time and then circle back so that you can still do other things at the same time. I would say to people, this is going to be an epic event. Check
To
us
say the
out.
least.
Right. Come, and there are so many unbelievable presenters and people to connect with that will shift relationships in your life, that will shift your own major relationship. The most important one is you to you. Once that kind of starts shifting and growing and evolving, then everything else in our life follows in suit. And so this is a really unbelievable buffet. Really, that is like the best word. And you used it early on. Try everything, check it out, connect with different people, pick up business cards, gather information so that this is the beginning, and knowing that this is just the start, that it's not like, oh my God, I have to do everything right now, but it's just getting the taste and seeing what resonates and what opens you, and weaving this in so you can have better communication, so that you can have easier relationships, so that your dreams, whatever they are, can start coming in with greater ease and flow.
It is so needed. Thank you for pioneering this, for creating this. Zenathon, and it's on Instagram. It is on Facebook. It is on the web, the internet, zenathon.org. My inimitable guest is Sonya Masur, and she is the pioneer and founding visionary of the Zenathon, happening Sunday, September 22nd in Sharon, Massachusetts. Drive, fly, walk, however you need to get there, join us. It is so needed at this monumental time of shifts in human development. And we are here to assist and guide you. And thank you, Sani, very much for joining me today.
Thank you, Hill. True honor.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Mystical Messages. To learn more about my work or to book a session with me, please visit hilaryharley.com. If you would like to read my monthly forecast or check out dates of planetary events and cycles, you may find the full written transcript for all astrology episodes on my website. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening today. Please join me again in 2 weeks when I will bring you my forecast, my astrology forecast for the upcoming month. I wish you many blessings as you journey forward.